The strangest finals of the Pokemon trading card game just happened, and it's all this guy's fault. It's the 2025 Atlanta Regional Masters Final, and Andrew Hedrick is playing Henry Chow. Andrew is piloting Dragapult Dusknoir, and Henry is piloting his legendary Gardevoir with a brand new partner, Zoroark EX. These two are possibly the two strongest players in the modern era. Andrew had won 2 major tournaments the previous season and was just coming off of a first place finish in Vancouver. Meanwhile, Henry was in the midst of one of the most dominant seasons ever with a single archetype. He already won 2 regionals this season and was gunning to join the 3 other players who've gotten 3 regional wins in one season. Going into the match, neither player had lost a regional final, so that meant someone's undefeated streak was going to be ruined today. Let's get into it. Both players start the game with a slightly slow start and trade turns back and forth getting set up. Finally, on Henry's third turn, we see the first attack of the game, Badoo's Ichipollen, which does 10 damage and stops Andrew from using items on his next turn. Under item lock, Andrew continues to set up more. Henry declares Ichipollen again after some setup himself. Andrew draws some cards and passes back. Henry pollens the next turn, and the next. Ichipollen, 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 what is going on? Well, Henry and Andrew are on a bit of a stalemate where neither player wants to overcommit to an attack. Henry doesn't want to take a knockout without item locking Andrew because otherwise, Andrew could use item Unfair Stamp to drop Henry's hand to only 2 cards. If the cards that Henry gets stamped into aren't that great, Andrew could easily run away with a game that Henry was sure to win. Andrew can't really commit to an attack either. If he evolves a Dracloak into a Dragapult without disrupting Henry's hand, Henry can easily Uno reverse him on the next turn and dismantle Andrew's entire board. Andrew passes turn after turn, letting Henry chip away at his health. But if this continues, Henry's gonna win eventually, so why doesn't Andrew surrender the first game of the best of 3 and move on to the next one? Well, there could be 2 possible answers. The first is that Andrew is hoping to deck Henry out before Badoo can take all the KOs it needs. If Henry ever runs out of cards and has to draw for turn, he'll lose the game. But with multiple cards that can basically replenish his deck, and with such limited HP on Andrew's Pokemon, this isn't what Andrew's probably going for. The second and more likely answer is that Andrew knows he's eventually gonna lose this game 1. However, it would be in his best interest to burn as much time off the clock as possible. If the match ever goes to time in top cut and the game scores are tied, the winner is determined by whoever has less prize cards remaining. Andrew believes that his Dragapult deck is better suited at gaining an early lead than Henry's Gardevoir deck, and is hoping to ensure that time gets called in game 3. Andrew's plan works. He loses game 1, but not before burning an entire 30 minutes off the clock. Andrew takes a pretty decisive game 2 and time is called in game 3. At this point, Andrew's in a fragile but technically winning position. All he has to do is pray that Henry doesn't have the perfect cards in his hand to knock out his lone Dragapult. However, Arceus decides to shine upon Henry that day, and with the most insane professor's research of all time, Henry Chow becomes your 2025 Atlanta Regional Champion.
Professor's research, 7 cards, victory or defeat.
1, 2, 3, there's 1, there's the rare candy!
Rare candy!
Oh my
Night
god,
Stretcher!
there's the
Oh, he's got the
Night
Night
Stretcher, no
Stretcher!
way! And Henry Chow will be the Atlanta